Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining me again today. We're going to continue looking at paths that lead us to the heart of God. And one of them is solitude. Yesterday we talked about silence. Solitude often goes along with it, but not always necessarily. Solitude is simply getting away by yourself, being by yourself. It's different from being alone. You know, sometimes we could say, well, solitude is getting alone. I don't believe I'm alone when I'm in solitude, because I fully believe the very presence of Christ, His Spirit, is within me. He is before me, behind me, beside me, above me, below me. I live in His presence. So I am never alone. The problem is, you know, if we never take time to just be alone with Him, solitude, then the other people around us often detract from our attention to Him. Does that make sense? You know, if we're in a room of people and our best friend is there with us, but other people are talking and so on, our best friend might say, why don't you just spend some time with me? Let's blank these others all out for a little bit. That's what solitude is. It simply says, I'm going to take some time where it's just going to be me in the presence of God. Solitude, again, it can be in your room, it could be out for a walk, it could be it's simply just getting away from people, away from interaction with people. It probably means turning your cell phone off. Because even though people are not physically present with us, now they are socially present with us and have full access to it. So I may be getting into solitude and I hear beep. I got a text or an email. I better answer that. So it interrupts the solitude. So I would really encourage you to turn the phone off, turn the media off, and just be somewhere where you can be alone by yourself. Now, I know this is more appealing to us introverts than it is to extroverts. We who are introverts actually are energized by solitude. We need it. It's restorative for us. And for extroverted people, we're speaking in general terms here, they are energized by people being around them. But it's a different kind of energy. And I believe all of us at some point need solitude. We read about Jesus. How many times do we read about Jesus? Early in the morning, he went out by himself to pray. He prayed all night up on the mountain. He was off by himself in the wilderness. Jesus spent solitude, time when it was just him in the presence of his Father and the Spirit. And those are special times. Those are times when God speaks to us. So often in scriptures, if you read through the stories, God spoke to people when they were in places of solitude. I think of Isaac, you remember, or Jacob rather, and he's by himself at night, and he has this great dream, and God comes and wrestles with him. And from then on, his name was changed to Israel. In that solitude, in that place of where there were no other people, God was able to connect with him in a unique way. So that's my encouragement to us today. Try the path of solitude again. And I know part of it is we don't like being with ourselves sometimes. And we could talk about that for a long time, because I think it's partly we don't have a good sense of our identity, who we are because of Jesus, who we are in God. We don't have a solid identity. And when I get all by myself, I think about all my failures and all my things that never happened and all the anxieties and sorrows and regrets. But I believe as we walk in solitude with God, we move into a deeper place of where we hear his voice and where he connects with us in a very unique way. Well, I would encourage you to try solitude. And again, like yesterday, the first time or two you try it, it may feel awkward, it may feel contrived, it may feel unnatural, but I really believe if you pursue it, you will find deep and rich value in times of solitude, times just when There's nobody else, just you and God. Sometimes you have to protect those times. Sometimes you have to actually, for some of us who are busy, I remember when I was not retired, I would sometimes have to block in solitude time, silence time on my calendar, because then it made it seem valid, a valid thing to do. And so you may have to do that, but I would just encourage you to find ways to block out some time for solitude and just try it. And just start it by saying, God, I invite you to connect with me in the unique way that you do when we walk in solitude together. Well, let's think about it. God bless. We'll talk again tomorrow.